the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Bielski?
Yes.
Mr. Bruns?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
And Mr. Grimes?
Yes.
Participation? Hearing none. Any reason to adjust the agenda? Okay. Sinking fund expenditure update, Mr. Wilson.
I'd like to take this time at the meeting today to request, if you recall, Phase 1 and Phase 2. If we're going to continue with that language, this would be Phase 3 of our sinking fund. And we're in the process of getting the pricing on that. And I would like to explain a few different things, entertain some questions, and ask for the board approval for sinking fund expenditures to prepare the schools for this coming fall. So within Phase 3, with our move of first grade going over to Thomas White, those classrooms for first grade do not have any technological hardware in them. That hardware was moved to Atkins. In discussing that with the ISD, the hardware, moving it back to Thomas White, they were a little leery because of the age of the equipment. And so part of Phase 3 would be installation of the hardware for the remaining classrooms that do not have the teacher computers and the projector at Thomas White. If you may recall that we did not do any upgrades to computer labs outside of Thomas White and Atkins last year. And so within that Phase 3 request, I would like to upgrade the computer labs at the high school with the Google Chromebox items, those the little boxes that go on the computer screens. We have a number of Chromebook carts and iPads that I would like to selectively, those that are obsolete. That means that they are either very few of the computers are functioning or none. I would like to selectively upgrade the Chromebook carts and the iPads that are no longer functional. We have, I'd like to utilize that also at the sinking fund to transition our middle school creative arts, audio visual, to have similar items at the high school so our kids can continue to move through that creative arts, audio visual, music at the high school. So Thomas White High School and a couple things at Atkins. We really focused on Atkins last year, and they're looking pretty stellar at this point. And I would ask for a sinking fund request not to exceed expenditures of $100,000 for those upgrades. I don't have an itemized list for you, as the ISD is building the list, and we are meeting tomorrow for that. And my thinking is, rather than having an additional meeting, that I would provide you with the items that are on that list, and our preliminary estimate so far is just under $100,000 to upgrade those specific items. And I can elaborate on any of those items if, with more detail if you would prefer.
We're basically using the same system as what we did with the upgrades at Atkins last year, and the high school computers.
Yes.
They went the same PCs, same screens.
Yeah, yep. Same
Pricing's still the same?
screens. Actually, a little cheaper. So it allows us to, that's where I think we have funds available to do the Chromebook carts and replace some of those Chromebooks that are no longer functional. Atkins has
What's it
it.
gonna do to your budget for the roof? Is it gonna push us out to get a little?
I don't believe so at this time, because we were kind of waiting to see what came back with Thomas White and Atkins. With our roofing project.
Yeah, I'll have firm numbers after I meet with the ISD tech team. And I think we're looking pretty good.
The Chromebooks, Mark, that you're talking about replacing, are those all the Chromebooks at one time that Atkins had a room with just full of Chromebooks that was not getting used? Did those ever get pulled out of there and get distributed, or is that room still full of them Chromebooks? Did they? Are these the ones that you're replacing now? Some of those
Yes,
probably?
we have Chromebooks in various states of age.
They're old now.
Mhm. I think, talk to the ISD, the ones that we're talking about are circa 2011, 2012.
Yeah, because
That's
we
a long
had
time.
that room was full of them over there, and then it was, I don't know if it was brought to our attention or how we found out that they weren't even being used. And we spent
Yeah,
all that money, and the
If I
room was
took
full
you-
of them.
if I took it, that was one of the things we took care of in the early parts of last summer, was if it's not functional, recycle. And we had that space, I don't know if it's the same space, but that, it's kind of like a garage at Atkins.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, it was full of equipment that didn't work for replacement parts, whatever. And we've recycled the vast majority of that. And, really that room is pretty clean now, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Other questions?
You think 100,000 is gonna do that? Maybe a little less? It's a lot.
I think less than 100,000, not a lot.
Well, no, I mean, it's a lot of what you wanna do. You wanna do quite a bit. Will 100,000 cover that?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's some things I'll talk about later with the renovation updates and stuff that I'm stoked.
Good.
Any motion?
Yes, please.
We have a motion that we authorize superintendent to proceed with projects as outlined with the authorization to spend not more than $100,000 out of our sinking fund.
So move.
Support.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Mrs. Bielski?
Yes.
Mr. Bruns?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Rhines?
Yes.
And Mr. Lang?
Yes. Renovation update, Mr. Spaulding.
I wanted to give you guys a update. We talked about it at the last board meeting. Thomas White, so I'll kind of go through by building. Thomas White roof leak repairs are ongoing. Classroom renovations are ongoing / pending as things are arriving from orders. Exterior scraping and painting begins tomorrow. I'll talk more about that in my superintendent comments. Atkins front entry facade and the sign out front. That painting is going to begin, I believe, starting early next week. Kind of depends on where the boys get with the Thomas White. The camera and door security upgrades they're on continuous, they're working every day. The public address system is nearly finished for all the schools, so looking pretty good there. We've ordered district-wide signage for, I don't know if it's necessarily to replace the signs, because there aren't always signs at the doors, but it discusses alcohol, tobacco, drugs, and so we will move to be compliant with the signage there, as well as handicap parking and access signage. That'll be all over the district. Specifically at the high school, the roof material, the staging is occurring in the back end of the building here. And can I mention, your question was, well, what's the holdup? Tectum. And so the Tectum is not here. It's on order. It's been, I guess, back ordered, so to speak. And without the Tectum tearing off the roof, any Tectum that comes up, we wouldn't have anything to replace it. So I have full confidence in Superior and my size 13 shoes that we're going to knock this out, even though it's been a little delayed. I did get a photograph from the engineering company I shared with Bob. After one of the rainstorms, they must have taken up a drone or something, and you can see ponding water. So we need the heat, get that dried off so they can tear it out. We've talked a little bit, I shared with you about the Great Lakes Bay Health Center partnership. They have been in, we've talked to them, they're going to actually renovate the front office that they will be using in the high school main office up here. And they're also going to renovate our front staff lounge for us and paint the whole works, new seating. It's going to be cool. I want to thank them for that. That's social work services for ages 5 to 21. Doesn't matter if you're at Atkins, Thomas White, high school, that will be available for all ages. Schra, Sluck Beer, demolition bids are coming in. It's an ongoing. The target for clearing Schluck Beer is August 31st. I want that to sink in for a minute, because the Halloween, what are they, School of Terror. We will not have a School of Terror due to the building conditions and where we're headed with getting that all taken care of. That's the renovation update. What questions might you have?
When you say cleared out, what does that mean?
That means their stuff, their scary equipment and things. We've given them a target date of August 31st because we're going to close that up and make sure it's fully safe by the end of that month.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Superintendent evaluation. After we had our discussion on June 26th, some information came to light to the superintendent through MDE relative to student performance, and so Mr. Welton has asked to revisit that component of his performance review. Would you like to see closed session?
Yes.
So, can I have a motion to go into closed session, please, for the purposes of superintendent evaluation discussion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Bruns?
Yes.
Mr. Rhines?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bielski? Mr. Lang?
Yes. Based on the evidence presented, I'm asking for a motion for this board to update the superintendent's evaluation to a 3.3 overall, which will make him effective.
I so move.
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Allen, would you be willing to take a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mrs. Bessie?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rhines?
Yes.
Yours truly, yes. And Mr. Minor?
Yes. Thank you. Board and Superintendent Comments. Tim? Nate?
Good.
Jake?
Good.
Okay. Yep, sir.
I'd like to recognize some people that have done an outstanding job in a very short amount of time. Our team is working on the grounds and painting. We have Coach Marshall supervising, and you might have seen him on the mower. He looks pretty cool. Deja Marshall, his daughter, is also mowing and taking care of our lawn work. Bobby Martin, Salim Isa, and Malik Costin are 3 high school students that have been painting, picking up garbage. They are killing it. They're about to walk or go over to Thomas White, scrape, clean, paint. It's gonna look sharp. I'm super excited for these kids to come back and see what the other kids say about the work that they did, because it is fantastic. I also want to say, recognizing Roy Burton. Roy is with a company called Michigan Restorative Practices Trainers and Consultants. Roy is our PBIS Restorative Justice Consultant for the district, and he has worked hard to coordinate the start of our esports program. That's the gaming program. It's a first of its kind in this area. I don't even know, it might be the first all over the area, all over the state. It's an internal competition, and as other schools jump on board, I've had a superintendent call me earlier today and say, tell me more about this. We're knocking it out of the park, and that's a lot to do with Roy and his team helping us put all this together. They're also engaging in helping us supervise a creative arts program. I call it Build It and They Will Come. We build it, we will have a tremendous experience lined up for kids. So that's all coming at the start of this next school year. 2 weeks ago, the Department of Ed was in to audit our 21H money. That's the money that we apply for grant funding for partnership school districts. We came through with flying colors. I have to thank Stacy Rosales and yours truly, Patty Bullock. If we always do what's right, we can never do what's wrong. Thank you. Maintenance and custodial, last check, because just before the holiday, they were 3 days ahead of schedule. How about them apples, right? And I want to bring up the BEA leadership, our union leadership, because they are partnering with the administration, not butting heads with the administration, to enhance our staff evaluation system over the next few weeks. And we will have a very solid and useful evaluation system moving forward, targets and goals. So I want to thank all of those folks for really, they're killing it right now. I really appreciate it. We got the best people around, not to disparage other people. I really best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yes. Anything else for the cause? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.